Hey guys, it's Michael B. Happy Monday night, everybody. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. My computer just randomly died. I was sitting here and I was about to hit the live button, and my computer just went dark, and I was like, uh-oh, the hell happened? Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Tonight's topic is what is going on with Arcade1Up in Canada. This is something I tried to talk about Friday night on Super Game Room Dudes, but I was shut down by P-Dub's Arcade Love, who clearly hates Canadians and doesn't want to talk about Arcade1Up in Canada because he was having none of it. And he was determined to talk about that Double Dragon game that we knew was coming out for weeks now. So P-Dub's really sunk me on this. But the good thing about that is, outside of Super Game Room Dudes, kind of got my own platform here. So tonight, I want to talk a little bit about it and really analyze it and share some opinions that I've got from the Canadian fan base and what they think of what's going on with Arcade1Up in Canada, how they feel, how this impacts their decision on future purchases with Arcade1Up, all that kinds of stuff. Hey, P-Dub's call out. Anyways, this should be a fun show. I got a couple other things to talk about as well. Some things that I'm doing recently. I've kind of fallen in love with a video game, and I'm spending every dying second at that when I'm not doing stuff like this or working. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Some other stuff in the community that's come up that I want to address, some products that are on sale or available now that I think you guys should check out. And on top of that, I just hope we have a really good discussion tonight and a lot of fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This is Chill and Chat with Michael B. All right, guys, let me bring up the chat on the screen, chat overlays, so we can get to talking with everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. In just a couple minutes, I'm going to go through and say hello to the people that are here. I'm just waiting for the chat to come up on screen for you guys to engage and tell me what's going on. But I have some stuff I wanted to share with you guys. First off, is probably one of the craziest things going on in the gaming space right now. I'm laughing. I've been laughing all day since I've been looking at this. So I kind of want to share this with you and get your guys' opinion. it's it's nuts. So if you guys haven't seen this yet, I just want to show you it. Let's see if I can get a better picture because I'm here. Well, I don't know. There's got to be a way I can do this better. Hold on here now. I don't know how to do it. But anyways, here we have the Apple Vision Pro, Apple's first spatial computer. I have no idea what that means. Basically, this is Apple's first visual reality or altered reality headset. So there's some information there going about it, people looking at it. I mean, it's Apple. We talked about it last week. So how interesting is this thing going to be? Obviously, maybe it does a little bit more than some of the other sets that are out there, but you got to keep in mind, this is Apple. So there's going to be one product, and within a couple of years, there's going to be better products. So anyways, the Apple Vision Pro was announced today. This was supposed to be the big competitor that really the Oculus Quest 3 is going up against, as well as PlayStation VR. I've been down with VR since day one. I bought a Virtual Boy. What is it? Gunpei Noke? Is that his name? The creator? No, that's the creator of the Game Boy. I don't know if he's the creator of the Virtual Boy too. But anyways, I've been down with VR since day one. I've got a Quest 2. I don't play it a ton, but I mean, this comes out, it looks really cool. But there's one problem with it, and I got to say a huge thank you to the Garage Gamer for pointing me to this clip. And starts at $34.99. The fan reaction is bananas because I mean everybody just saw the Quest 3 get announced there the other day, and everybody was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm waiting to see what Apple does." And Nostalgia on our show just on Friday, he brought this up, and he's been sticking it to me all day. He said, "You know, it's going to be super overpriced." What starts at $3,500? I mean, that's the lowest tier model. Is going to be $3,500. And so far, there's no games like Jason M saying there's 500 VR games in meta right now. How many parties will support $3,500 glasses? Like, you think about it, that's $3,500 US. So here in Canada, just the starter version of the Vision Pro is going to be $5,000. That's how much Wayne Campbell and Garth Algar got paid to sell Wayne's World to Noah's Arcade. I'm not spending $5,000 on a set of Google or Apple glasses. I don't know what the hell this was, but I'm just blown away by that. I know it's a new way to look at the computer. I get all that stuff. What's happening, Kongzaros? Maybe I need to do more research into it, but for me, I mean, I'm not there with the Vision Pro. I got to do more research, but $3,500. Holy shit. Goofyfoot says it better have real feels for $3,500. I know Detroit Love is going to be picking it up, and I'm telling you right now that VR porn better be perfect for him, or he's not going to be very happy. Anyways, let me get that off the screen. That was the first thing I wanted to talk about. Wild. $3,500 for the Apple Vision Pro. I know it's not just a gaming accessory. It's going to be something else altogether, but I mean, geez, I'm just caught off by the price. Anyways, we got a $2 super chat here from Hobby Hands. Mike, how much do you spend on one pinball game? Three times what the Apple Vision Pro costs. 3 times. I know. Kongzaros knows. D-Love loves his VR gremlins. Thank you very much for the super chat, Hobby Hands. A couple other things I wanted to tell you about before I get started was I got an email today, and I don't know how many of you guys have been following this, but let me just bring this up on screen. New Wave Toys have been doing a spring boombox sale. Today is the last day, so it ends at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, which actually is already happened, so it already ended. So I don't know why I'm sharing this with you, because it ended basically when I was going live, but they had this boombox sale on for the last little while. I didn't jump in, but let me know in the comments, guys. Did anybody else pick up one of these boomboxes? Anything you were excited about? Let me know. Should have went earlier with this show. I knew it. Darren Kane, great comment. Wolverine, a nice Canadian boy, wore those goggles in the water tank when he was getting adamantium in the Weapon X story. And Jason says, buy a 4K ALP, which we heard is going to be $2,000 Canadian, new Quest 3, and still have tons of money left for whatever else you want, like an OLED TV. I am actually thinking about jumping up to an OLED TV. I have a Samsung QLED right now, but I've been playing my Switch OLED recently. The screen is just so nice that I may want to get a new TV in the near future. And I might not be buying as many Arcade1Ups, so I'll have expendable income maybe. I should spend that on pinball, though. Okay, 1 second, guys. All right. So a couple other things. I think we got the Vision. Oh, yeah. So this is something else I wanted to talk to you guys about. No, Canada Phil, I don't have any actual 4K ALP news except for the price point. It looks like it's going to be $15.99 US or $14.99 US or $15.99 and about $2,000 Canadian. That's the only news I have right now. Heard that from the Brick. Hobby Hand says, another $2 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. I'm one to talk. I have spent money on retro stuff. We all spend money. Like, so what happens is people look at that and they're like, oh my God, you spent that much on a pinball table. If I told you how much I spent on Arcade1Ups last year, you wouldn't judge me on how much I spent on the pinball table. All right, guys. So the last thing I wanted to tell you about was this past week, I actually started a new Facebook fan page, and I wanted to say thank you to all the people that have already jumped on board, liked the page, followed the page, and have been interacting with me there. I really appreciate it. For you guys that don't know, earlier this year, my Facebook account was hacked because stupid me, I got an email that said I had a copyright claim on YouTube, and I clicked on the email, and of course it was spam, and they shut down my Facebook account. Basically, they went in, they put a bunch of like really depict. I don't know how it works. They put a bunch of illicit stuff up on my Facebook page. Facebook basically destroyed my account. So there's a MichaelBtheGameGenie Facebook fan page out there that I have no access to that has like well over 1,000 people following, and I can't get it back. There's no way. I'm just off limits. So I started the new page. If you haven't already, go check it out. It'd be great to connect with you guys there, and we could talk a little bit too. Ritual Dello says, new Switch Online games too. Are you talking about the Mario Advance games, or are you talking about there was a new announcement, Ritual Dello? But anyways, guys, Facebook fan page, go check me out there. It's amazing. I get through all my life without having any kind of frog in my throat. I start doing this, and it must be drainage or something. So I apologize, guys. I'm immediately starting to lose my voice again. Jeez. Anyways, let me get that off screen. New announcement. All right. Well, I'm going to go and see if I can find out what the new announcement is for the Switch Online games. That would be exciting. I do like Switch Online. Ooh, here we go. June Games Update. Thank you very much, Ritual Dello. Let me pull that up. So we got a June Games Update. I don't know if this is for me necessarily, but ooh, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Nintendo. It's been a long time since we've seen anything for that. Kirby Tilt and Tumble. That's not for me. Someone else might like it, so we'll skip past that. And my internet will go wonky, as it always does when I try to do this. Surprisingly, because I've been harsh on the Super Nintendo, there we go. Blaster Master Enemy Below. I do like that. That's exciting. I'm a big Blaster Master fan. I love Blaster Master Zero on the Switch. So that is really cool. All right, what else we got here? Harvest Moon is a really cool choice. I'm going to have to tell my wife about this. Maybe she'll give it a go. Super Nintendo have not got good titles in the last little while, so it's good to see they're actually getting something cool there. What's the NES announcement, guys? And watch, I'll go back down here. It'll be perfect. Mystery Tower. How do I not know what Mystery Tower is? As a guy who's owned almost every single Nintendo game in the world, I don't know what Mystery Tower is. I have no idea what that is. My good God. What is Mystery Tower? I'm going to have to look this up when I'm done. Anyways, weird announcement. NES, Switch Online is Mystery Tower. Super NES is Harvest Moon. Tilt and Tumble I don't care about. Blaster Master Enemy Below I'm pretty excited to check out. Chris Langs, you might say it's a great puzzle game. I have no idea what the hell is going on, but interesting. All right, guys. So anyways, I want to say hello to people here in the chat. Let's go through and talk to a couple people. Chris Langs just said it's a great puzzle game. Thanks for being here, Chris. Why is this not coming up? There we go. Alfred Burgers here. Matt Astra Gaming. Ritual Dello. JR, Andy's Game Room, El Capitan, Galaga Guy, nice to see you, Brooklyn Menace, Canada Phil, hope, yeah, glad I could give you some news. Koja Jangles, Dave Uffend, yeah, Canada Phil, that is correct. That's what I was told, retailers were told. Now, keep in mind, with that US price, of course, this is going to be announced during National Owners Day. More than likely, this is going to go on sale, so expect it to be a little bit cheaper than $14.99, $15.99. Thanks to the sale, you're going to have to pay shipping and handling, though. But yeah, here in Canada, if you're going to buy it at the brick, it looks like it's going to be $2,000. Kevin Clausen says, I think I might move to Canada just so I can pay higher prices. You don't want that. Our dollar's not worth as much. Chris Zeke's here. What's happening? No, you don't have to be Canadian to do it tonight. Jason M says, big jump from QD to OLED. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. Kanzara skipped the boom boxes. Yeah, I did too. It's not something I have a bunch of nostalgia for. Of course, I grew up with boom boxes. I don't know. It's cool that they offer these little different things, like the Coke machine, like the boom boxes, like the Zoltar that's coming out now. So there we go. Darren's here. We talked about him earlier. Hobby Hands. Stephen G. Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate it, brother. Dr. Z's here as well. Andy's Game Room. Jason. Dave Offend. Unreal. I'm going to bring water up from now on. Carlo's here. JR. Who else we got here? Jason Mucha. I saw P-Dubs here earlier. Nick Gamble. Isabella Neves, the gaming girl. Chris Ford. JJ. Matt Astor Gaming. 19K Fox. Augmented reality. I have some augmented reality too. Whenever I take off my shirt, I imagine I'm in the same shape that 19K Fox is in. The M90 is quite nice though. If you have a drive-in near you, don't miss it. Oh, we haven't had a drive-in here since I was about 11 years old. It's one of the biggest regrets of my life. I've never been to a drive-in personally. Richard Rodella with Super Chat. Here's starter money to build that shipping bridge from the 1UP warehouse. Thank you very much, Richard Rodella, for the Super Chat. So, anyways, guys, Dr. Z says Canada has more Arcade1Ups than Walmart these days. Carlo says $12.99 ALP 4K, $8.99 ALU 4K. Carl, we're going to fight about this all the time. Like, literally, I talked to the brick. That's the prices they gave me for what it was. So maybe you're right, but maybe those are the National Owners Day prices. So we'll see. Hey, Weapon X, what's happening here, brother? All right, guys. So on to the main topic tonight, and it's funny we're here. Isn't Foxy 6'3" and 185? Exactly. That's what I pretend, Pitbull. And Midlife Arcade says, never been to a drive-in. They need a 3/4 scale by you. I always see that scene in Monster Squad. Always see that scene in Monster Squad where the guys are at the top of their house, the main character, and his dad comes out with the Burger King, and they're watching the drive-in off in the distance. And that's always where I get the nostalgia, and I get really disappointed about that. Hey, Sterling Hall's here. What's happening, Sterling? Dan Z's as well. Thank you very much. Nick Gamble says there's a drive-in not far from the convention center. That might be something I do. I know our schedule is pretty tight, but maybe we'll get to the drive-in. Hey, Attorney Arcade, what's happening? Oh, Pitbull, you're not fat. You're huge, man. You're ripped. All right, so the main topic I want to talk about is we've been waiting for a while here in Canada. It's been a very dry period for Arcade1Up Canadian fans. We haven't had any releases so far this year. The first release came out all the way back in January with Star Wars re-release. So it wasn't a deluxe model, but of course it did have the re-release of the original model with a new arc kit to get down onto the riser and everything. And it also had the light up coin door. Very cool. However, that never came to Canada. And since then, it's been an unending streak of cabinets being announced, coming out to the public, and nothing here in Canada. Yeah, Pitbull, I've had weird drainage for, I don't know, like the last 3 months, it seems like. I got to work on that. So we've had no releases. Finally, just about a week and a half ago, we finally got our first sniff of new Arcade1Up cabinets here in Canada as pre-orders went up on both the Brick and Best Buy's websites, where we can now order 2 of the deluxe cabs that will be available as of September 30th. So basically Q3, we're finally going to get our first sniff of Arcade1Ups. And you know what? Not too dissimilar from last year. It took a while to get the Arcade1Ups in, but what was more troubling was not all the cabinets that had been announced were available. So I want to bring up the brick right now and show you which ones are available. Let me bring this up on screen. So for those of you that haven't seen the posts everywhere, new inventory at the brick, Pac-Man Arcade1Up Deluxe and Class of 81 Deluxe are currently available for pre-order. If you go to Best Buy as well, both of them are there. I will say I am happy with the price point. I had heard originally they were actually going to be a little bit more expensive than last year's Legacy. So $649 is actually better than what I anticipated in terms of price. But again, when you go in and you go to place your pre-order, so it's $649, estimated delivery to A1B 1W2, which is not my address. We'll be ready after Friday, September 15th. Holy shit. That's quite a wait. Quite a goddamn wait. Yeah. But anyways, if you go back, those are the only two cabinets. That's it. So far this year, we've had Star Wars re-release. We've had the Deluxe cabinets. You'll notice there's a Deluxe cabinet missing, which is the Mortal Kombat 2 Deluxe Midway cabinet. And we also recently had Fast and the Furious. So what happened to the other cabinets? Why are we experiencing this? That's kind of what I wanted to ask some Canadian fans. So I reached out to all the guys in the group chat we have for the Arcade1Up Canadian fan page. And unfortunately, none of them were available tonight. Sucks. No, I don't know if P-Dubs is doing multi-K Mondays tonight, Dick Watson. Hopefully he is. Hopefully he's back doing it again soon. But anyways, I reached out to the Canadian fan page today. I'm going to take myself off screen because this is on Facebook. And I just want to make sure there's no weird chats or anything open that you guys can see. Oh my, why'd that happen? Anyways, so I reached out to the Canadian fan page today and I asked them a poll. But before I did that, I did want to confirm this. Let me bring it up on screen. So the day that the announcements went up for the Deluxe cabs being available, Joe C. Bulduke put it up in the Arcade1Up Canadian fan page at the brick, the Deluxe, but only Pac-Man and Class of 81. Do we get Mortal Kombat as well and ship in September? So I commented, it's not looking good right now. Any update, Arlene Gower? Arlene's the person at the brick that does all the ordering. And of course, Arlene responded, the distributor has no plans to bring it in. I will follow up with them. So right now, there is literally no release date for Mortal Kombat 2 Deluxe, which is frustrating because honestly, out of the Deluxe cabinets that are out there, that's the one I want the most. Like, I think I've told you guys about this before. I'm not the biggest fan of Class 81. I understand everybody loves it, but for me, I would rather have just a straight up Miss Pac-Man arcade cabinet. If it was the Miss Pac-Man one, I might be on board. I might be interested in getting it. I know it has a great games lineup. I know people love it. I don't know what to say. For me, that split art design doesn't bring the arcade nostalgia that other people get for it. I mean, I don't have the picture here in front of me, but there's a picture of me the first time I ever saw a Class of 81 cabinet for the 20-year anniversary, and I'm in a swimming pool. That's what I think of. It's a swimming pool. So I don't think of retro arcades when I see Class of 81. I think of it being the 20th anniversary cabinet and it being in like random spots. If other people love it, that's awesome. But for me, I'd rather have the classic Miss Pac-Man cab. And of course, Pac-Man itself, I am pretty excited about. I actually sold my original Namco Legacy cab because eventually I would probably move up to the Pac-Man Deluxe cabinet. I currently have the Pac-Mania cabinet right now, which I got on clearance Christmas time because it was on sale for $299 through Best Buy. That's $299 Canadian. That's like $150 US. It's probably more like $200. There you go. Carlo, but you don't remember the doo-doo in the pool, do you, Michael B? No, I don't. So, anyways, no, I don't remember the doo-doo. Those are the only two cabs that we currently have coming. I might get Pac-Man, but like I just said, I currently have the Pac-Mania cab. It has pretty much the exact same games list, and I only paid like $300 for it. So, what are you going to do? I mean, I'm going to be doing a review on that in the very near future. I'm going to test this out. This is also part and parcel based on this. I did a show a couple of weeks ago where I talked about, I don't know if I'm going to review Arcade1Up cabinets anymore. And it has to do with the timing, that if a cabinet comes out here in Canada months and months and months after the initial release, I don't see a lot of point in putting as much time and effort into it as I normally do, because reviews take me a really long time. So I said, you know what? Here's my litmus test. Maybe I'm going to do a review on my Pac-Mania cabinet, which has been out since last January, so almost a year or something like that. And I'm going to see how it does. And if it does fairly, maybe I still will review Arcade1Up cabinets when I can buy them in Canada. There you go. What I'm disappointed about is it looks like the casino party cades with the actual pull arm are DOA. Yeah, we don't have any information on that, Canada Phil. Yeah, Sterling knows. $2.99 Pac-Mania, of course you're going to get that. But, you know, with the two cabinets that are available right now, I mean, I've got a Pac-Man with all the games on it that was like dirt cheap, and I don't want Class of 81, so I'm in a difficult spot. But anyways, Canada Phil, yeah, hopefully we get some info on the partycades in the very near future. I'm going to be honest with you, we might get those in Canada. I heard some rumblings today. That's a possibility, so we'll see. So that is what's available in Canada. Reached out to people. They're disappointed it's not coming. So like I said earlier, I reached out to a bunch of people and I said, you want to come on the show, kind of voice your opinion on what you think of what's going on with Arcade1Up in Canada recently. And unfortunately, none of the usual suspects in that group chat were available tonight. Charlie Chuck is busy. We're leading up to the NHL draft, so he's not available. Conti wasn't going to be available till like pretty much when the show started. And Crash Gamer, grab one in Cleveland, Michael. There's no way I'm going to be able to get it back. I can't put it in my airport luggage. Anyways, Conti said he was going to be available. Atul's working on a project. None of the guys were available, so there you go. Which Gallagher guy. That's one of the other reasons. Honestly, that's one of the other reasons I'm going to do this review now, because the sticker version's out. So if anybody wants to know how good the Pac-Mania cabinet is sans stickers, I'll be able to give them an update. GG asks, what about the new Infinity table? Are we getting it in Canada? I haven't what about the new Infinity table? Are we getting it in Canada? I haven't heard anything about the smaller Infinity table yet. Soon as I have some information, I'll let you know. Hey, Cleveland Gaming Classics here. Have your photo up on the guest page finally for Cleveland Gaming Classic. Woohoo! Hey, that's awesome news. Hey, I gotta go check this out here now, guys. It's official. So I haven't told anybody about this yet. It's been a long time coming. I've never been invited officially to a gaming convention before as a guest or anything like that. So I'm very excited. Let's see if it's up. Entertainment, special guests. Here we go. Hey, yeah! So let me pull this up on screen and show you guys. I'm so excited about this. One of my lifelong dreams was always to go to a convention and get invited as a special guest. And there I am, MichaelBtheGameGenie, special guest announcement. Look there, Nintendo is going to be there. Oh my God, Square Pegs, Derby. Well, look at this Glenn Planamento character. John Salter, Greg Peters. The Tech Buzz is going to be there. That is so friggin' cool, man. Simple Flips, Jeff Seltzer. Look at that. Oh, I am so excited about that. Yeah. So ad popped up. Of course, the ad pops up. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be a special guest at the Cleveland Gaming Classic. It's a dream come true for me. Thank you very much, Cleveland Gaming Classic, for inviting me. That is so awesome. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. Really, really happy about that. I'm going to take a moment just to let that sink in for a minute. That is so freaking cool. I can't wait to show my wife after the stream. Yeah. It took me so long. I'm gonna be honest. Like pretty much, Cleveland Gaming Classic asked me to send some information like months and months and months ago, and I didn't really understand what he wanted. So I was there like thinking about getting headshots done, and then I was like, oh, okay, do I got to write up a bio or anything like that? And then I was talking to Nostalgia, and he was like, no, man, he just wants you to send him a picture and your logo. I was like, oh, I can do that. All right. So, anyways, back to the topic at hand. I did do some search in the Canadian fan page today where I asked some poll questions on how people felt about what's going on, how of the current year's releases, it looks like we're only going to have these two cabinets available at retail. So, some of the feedback I got, only 73 votes. The fan page has, oh my God, where's the members? 1.2K members. Only 73 people chimed in, but let's go through the totals. So 31% said disappointed, wanted one not coming. So either Fast and Furious, Star Wars, or Mortal Kombat. 5% said excited for the cabs we get. 34%, this is the biggest percentage, worried about the future. And this is where I kind of am too. I am very nervous about this because if we're getting limited releases right now, like basically Pac-Man's, which are their highest sellers, how does that fare for us getting the more niche stuff coming out? Like one of the things we talked about was potentially them doing a Smash TV or a Robotron cab in the future. And if they can't get a Mortal Kombat cab here at retail, what hope is there for getting some of these more wacky cabs coming out? So really, really nervous about that. 5% said upset and will not buy any more. 8% said I'm not buying one-ups anymore anyways. Then Joey Hansen added the comment, not done, but not interested in these. Danny Dawson said completely out of room. Dane Gill said probably going to import one. And Dane Gill said probably importing one of these titles. So unfortunately, the importing thing is a little bit more complicated because the only way you can really import one is with a company like Shipsy or something like that. And what's complicated about that is Shipsy only works to certain locations. I think mainly it's Ontario that Shipsy works with. So where I'm in Newfoundland, I can't use Shipsy. So that was kind of the feedback we got. There were a bunch of comments here. I won't go through them all, but I could probably put a link to it afterwards. But a lot of people were very disappointed, very upset by this. I mean, you got to think about it, that we might not be the leading demographic or sector for Arcade1Up. Obviously, the US is. But there's so many of us that are loyal, hardcore fans that have been buying so many of these releases. And to be cut off almost at the legs, it kind of sucks. So anyways, a lot of feedback going out there. And what I kind of want to throw out there is a lot of people right now are like, man, I can't believe Arcade1Up is doing this. There, Canada Phil knows importing only works if you're close to a Shipsy depot. Otherwise, the shipping costs will be horrendous and not worth the effort. So a lot of people are looking at what's happening and saying, man, this is Arcade1Up's fault, right? Well, it's actually not Arcade1Up's fault. Arcade1Up doesn't necessarily choose what amount gets shipped to what location. They're involved in the process, but what they do is they are mainly selling to either stores or to distributors. The distributor here in Canada is called Straightforward Sales. $19K Fox, my favorite comment here so far. I will say, send you an MK Deluxe one piece at a time. So Straightforward Sales is the distributor here. So it depends on how much Straightforward Sales are willing to bring in. And I'll go back to Arlene's comment earlier on where she said the distributor is not bringing it in. That is, in fact, Straightforward Sales she's talking about. Anybody that's bought any Arcade1Up product through Walmart, through Amazon, any of these places, when you get the box, there's usually a Straightforward Sales stamp on it. That's the distributor. That's who is the one selling this stuff mainly, right? So as much as you want to say, oh man, I can't believe Arcade1Up is not supporting Canada or what's going on, Unfortunately, it's straightforward sales, and that is basically who is determining what cabs are available here. So I don't know what the story is, but maybe straightforward sales are a little bit more risk adverse than they have been in previous years. Let's be honest, it's a safe bet. Canadians are going to buy Pac-Man cabinets. Well, all except for the Pac-Mania cabinet, for whatever reason, that then needs to be clearanced at Best Buy, $2.99 Christmas time. Garage Gamer, that isn't straightforward enough. I know. So that's kind of where we're to right now. It looks like the distributor is only bringing in those two cabinets. Well, the other thing that we talked about in the Canadian fan page about this situation was, in fact, okay, we're not getting them at retail. Maybe we can get them through direct to consumer. But see, that's an issue right now, too, because the cabs that are available in the US are only available through Best Buy. There's currently none of the new cabs that are available direct to consumer directly through Arcade1Up.com. No, P-Dub's Arcade Loft. I mentioned this earlier. You might not have heard it. No, I'm not getting Class of 1981. I've never bought either of the Class of 1981 cabs. I just don't like that arcade. That doesn't have the arcade nostalgia for me. So many people tell me it's an excellent cab, excellent games list. I'm happy for them that they like it. But for me, that doesn't, bring a bunch of arcade nostalgia for me. It brings a bunch of nostalgia for seeing these cabs out at like a swimming pool or something, and 20 years ago. So not really the Class of 81. If they had the original Pac-Man, I would be interested. And as for the Pac-Man Deluxe cabinet, I got a perfectly good Pac-Mania cabinet just sitting there. I bought for $2.99 Canadian, which is essentially $200 US. Why would I upgrade to a $649 Pac-Man Deluxe? I don't know if there's enough bang for my buck of having the better screen with the form factor to really make that jump. So right now, 2 games. And I'm not getting either one. I like the Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet. A lot of people like Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, so anyways, that's kind of the feedback that most people have been given. They're disappointed. I got off track there because I saw the comment coming in, so I got to let it get back to me. But anyways, guys, that's kind of where we stand. These are the only 2 cabinets coming in, and hearing that, we knew already we probably weren't going to get the Star Wars re-release because we were kind of told that. P-Dubs, yes, we already got the collector cades. No one's buying them. But they're here. The collector cades are here in store at Best Buy. So I gotta keep getting distracted by P-Dubs. This is like the show the other night. Next, I'm going to be talking about Double Dragon. Yes, Alex LaRock. That was the next thing I was going to talk about. Thank you for bringing that up. So one thing I can comment on, I did get some more information on today, is the fact that Arlene reached out to me after she saw my post and my thumbnail for my show, and she said, Mike, that's not entirely accurate. You're saying that we're only getting those 2 cabs. Well, there is one more that is coming out, and Alex was kind enough to spoil my surprise, but I'm just happy the information's out there. So, guys, one thing I did find today, which I do kind of find a bit of a weird one, is the fact that of all the other cabinets, Mortal Kombat and Fast and the Furious, the one cabinet that we may also be getting is the Star Wars re-release. Now, for me, I'm super excited. Anybody that's an Arcade1Up fan in Canada that missed out on the original release, I can openly tell you this is the best cabinet they have made to date. Star Wars is the top of the mountain when it comes to Arcade1Up. So the fact that people that missed out on the original and now can jump in and get the re-release, I'm very happy for you. Also, keep in mind that this is an improved cabinet. The art now flows seamlessly down onto the riser, both on the sides and the front. Plus, it also has that faux coin door and the light-up coin door buttons. So there you go. This is actually really cool news. So instead of just 2 cabinets coming out, we're going to be able to get 3. But that's as far as we know right now. You're going to be able to get the Star Wars re-release. You're going to be able to get Pac-Man, and you're going to be able to get Class of 81. So we're up to 3. Now, there's no pre-order for this up yet, but according to Alex, he says early September, so it looks like it should come out around the same times as the 2 deluxe cabinets. So that's my bit of breaking news that Alex came in and told everybody before I had a chance to bring it up. I was so excited to tell everybody, too. It's actually Star Wars, not plural. So anyways, that's the news. We're also getting Star Wars. But in terms of Mortal Kombat, in terms of Fast and the Furious, no update. We have no update. Will I get the new Star Wars, Michael B? No, because I still have my original Star Wars, and it's still awesome. So, as much as I like the light up coin door, as much as I like the new art, it doesn't have online leaderboards. It doesn't have anything really other than some small changes in order for me to spend, $700 to get it. So there you go. Anyways, guys, so 3 cabs coming. I'm 0 for 3. But where do we stand with Mortal Kombat and Fast and the Furious? Right now, the distributor says they're not bringing them in. I talked to Arlene. Arlene is working on it. She's going to talk to the distributor, find out if there's some way we can get them in. For those of you guys that say, well, I want to play Mortal Kombat, I do want to bring this up. If you go to the Brick and you go to Best Buy, the Mortal Kombat 30th anniversary is still in stock. So I don't know if there's any correlation here or not, but I'm assuming the fact that these are still in stock may tell you that maybe they're waiting for some of these to sell out. Maybe. But at the same time, the Pac-Mania is still in stock, and yet they're bringing in the other Pac-Mania. And if you go up here, the Miss Pac-Man Legacy from last year, still in stock, still bringing in the Class of 81. Class of 81, I don't think is readily in stock. But that's where we're looking at now. So if you don't have a Mortal Kombat right now, this is on. It's going to be the same price as the Deluxe. It's a really good cabinet outside of the screen. If you don't mind the screen being shitty, maybe you can pick up that one. Me personally, I sold that one because I was like, eventually they'll come out with the Deluxe here. Little did I know. Or they'll come out with an XL eventually. So right now, Arlene's working on Mortal Kombat. Now, as we know, the Deluxe cabs are legacy cabs. That's an evergreen product. So they might not be available now, but say the distributor changes their mind in the future, then we could still get Mortal Kombat, but it's not going to be here in September. It may be later on. When it comes to the Fast and the Furious, that's a little bit of a different story because the Fast and the Furious isn't an evergreen product. That's more of a limited time release. Really quickly, there's coming here from NAO. Do you have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet? I did have it, but I sold it because I got rid of a lot of my collection in order to kind of change some space here in the house. So I'm down to 10 Arcade1Up cabinets. A friend of mine wanted the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. I didn't plan on selling it right away, but when he wanted it, I just said, sure, you can take it. I was going to hold on to it for a little bit longer, but there you go. Alex, don't worry about it, man. There's no way you could have known. I was waiting to see if you're going to talk about it, but now this far in the show, I thought you didn't know. No, I knew. Arlene reached out to me and told me today. That was my big spoiler. Oh my God, JJ McQuaid. Yes, Gorf. I would love to see Gorf. So that's where we stand right now. Right now, you can buy a Mortal Kombat. So it's not like you can't get Mortal Kombat, the Deluxe cabinet. I think it's going to have the exact same game lineup. It's not like you can't get it in Canada. It's just last year's model, still has a riser, has the wrong color buttons, too many yellow buttons, plus the screen is kind of shitty. Other than that, it's really good. But you can also buy a Pac-Mania cabinet at the same time. These are readily available, and yet they're still bringing in Pac-Man. So it's a little bit of a head scratcher. Getting back to the Fast and Furious, that's a little bit of a different story. Right now, we knew this for a long time. Fast and Furious isn't coming to Canada. Will it ever come here? Arlene's going to try, but the truth of the matter is Fast and the Furious is not an evergreen product. They did a production run of Fast and the Furious. So right now, depending on how sales go in the US and what the availability and quantity remaining is, and that's not, people going out to the stores and buying them, that's retailers picking them up. So if by the time straightforward sales determines they want to bring in Fast and the Furious, the retailers have bought up all of the Fast and the Furious cabinets in the US, that means there won't be any more to get. Arcade1Up's not going to do another production run. So what's out there right now is what we get. So in terms of things changing in the future, right now we're being told, Mortal Kombat distributors not bringing in, things can change. Fast and the Furious, we're being told distributors not bringing it in, things can change. But unfortunately, there may not be quantity available by the time the distributor wants to bring it in. So there we go. That's all the news. In terms of future cabinets, that's up in the air right now. I talked to my contact at Resource Group, and who Resource Group are, if I haven't told you already, Resource Group are basically the sales and marketing partner for Arcade1Up here in Canada. They're the people that work directly with straightforward sales, work with Best Buy, work with Walmart, work with the brick, and then kind of dole these things out. So what Resource Group told me was we should be caught up with the US releases by, the end of quarter 2, quarter 3. So September, we should be caught up with the US releases. And I took that as a fact. I was like, okay, we're just going to get them here. We're not going to get Star Wars, which we ended up getting. We're not going to get Fast and Furious, which seems like we're on the pace not to get that. But we'll at least get the Deluxe cabs. And what threw me for a loop with that was when Mortal Kombat was announced by Arlene as the distributor not bringing it in. And I mean, it's such a normal cabinet, but I don't know. Where are we with future releases? I mean, Arcade1Up just said, expect a release a month or release every 2 months, an announcement going forward for the rest of the year. What are we going to get? Are we going to get everything? Or is it going to be a situation kind of like this with Mortal Kombat Fast and Furious, where something will be announced in the US, it'll go out to stores, but that doesn't necessarily mean we'll get it in Canada. Oh, Robbins, you have no issues there. The Class of 81 cabinet is 100% coming. That's going to be here September, mid-September. It looks like it's a long friggin' wait. I wish they could do something about that. Can you give us any news on EVO 2023 secret reveal? My money is on Capcom versus SNK2. I know John D really, really wants that SNK license involved with Arcade1Up. I think he might have said that maybe they have worked something out with SNK. Can't remember exactly. They're definitely going to announce a fighter cab at EVO. The question is it going to be something like that, or possibly could that be when we get the Capcom Deluxe cabinet? 19K Fox did a big show on this last night. I've heard some rumors about this as well, that we may finally be getting a Street Fighter cab that's not focusing on Street Fighter 2, that maybe takes a look at Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, or takes a look at Street Fighter Alpha series. So we'll see. My money's on either, they made that work, Capcom versus SNK, or we're looking at a Street Fighter Deluxe that has some new titles. We will have to wait and see, guys. No, Casinocade is not history. Casinocade is 100% coming. I actually had a conversation on the Casinocade today, and it was about, how well do you think it'll sell in Canada? So I do 100% believe that Casinocade is still coming. Um, Going back, future releases. What about XLs? Are XLs going to come here? Well, I'll go back to my list again here. And if you take a look at the XL cabinets, you go to Best Buy, Shack Jam is still available, readily available. Golden Tee, on the other hand, is not. Lots of NFL stools, but no Golden Tee. So if I go to the brick, I go through Arcade1Up. Get out of there. See if I see any Golden Tee here. I know they have a display one in the store where I'm to, but no Golden Tee. So there's hope for the XL. There we go. Canada Phil knows I waited too long on Golden Tee XL. Did not expect that to sell out. I don't think a lot of people expected to sell out, but you got to understand the buying power of Golden Tee. I mean, people remember that game so fondly, not necessarily from playing it in the arcade, but most people in my age range all had an experience of either at the bar in college or a bar or a pool hall or something, going out and playing Golden Tee while having a couple drinks. So it's the perfect release for Arcade1Up to throw out there and for people to buy and pick up and put in their man cave, put in their downstairs bar. You know, that's kind of where it goes. So in terms of the XL coming here, Golden Tee's gone. Shack Jams is available, so we'll see what happens. I really hope there's another XL cab this year. Hopefully it sells well. Also depends on the title. I mean, if it's something like Turtles XL, or the one I kind of heard a rumor about earlier was one of the Deluxe cabinets, could also have an XL. So maybe Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, one of the Pac-Mans, something like that. I think that'll do well too. I'm determined next week I'm going to take some kind of nasal spray, not have this raspy throat when I do this. In terms of the other releases, I know Sterling Hall said if they release a Qbert cab that doesn't come to Canada, I'll make the 3+ hour drive to Maine. Oh, Sterling, I wish I was that close. I miss when my wife was in law school. She went to the University of New Brunswick, and going to Maine was like our fun thing we do on the weekend. So we would leave her law school, University of New Brunswick. And again, yeah, it's like a 3.5 hour drive to Bangor, Maine. We'd park ourselves at the Holiday Inn, get a bunch of Denny's, get a bunch of Five Guys, and just go around to the stores and just arse around for the weekend. I miss so desperately being able to do that. Man, in Newfoundland, it's a little bit more complicated, as you know, because in order for me to take a drive over the border to Maine, I have to take a 10-hour or 11-hour drive across the province, get on the ferry, take a 10-hour ferry ride, land in Nova Scotia, Sydney, Nova Scotia, and then it's like another 8 hours to New Brunswick, and then another 3.5 hours to Maine. So, yeah, there you go. Hey, Mikey Yoon. Yeah, I know. I got to get some cough drops or something. I don't know what's going on. I've got this like nasal drip that's come on for the last while. There we go. Yeah, middle of nowhere. I'm on an island. I'm stuck. I'm in a lot of trouble. I bet you'd make the trip for a pinball machine. No, I would not make the trip for a pinball machine. No, 100% no. With pinball, it's a little bit different. I mean, there's a expectation that if I'm going to buy something that's away, I'm going to have to pay shipping, but a weird comment. All these places sound made up like Narnia and Oz. Maybe. So, oh, this was the one I wanted to comment on. So we have a Five Guys Burgers and Fries here now. We never used to originally. It was a long time coming. So we have Five Guys now. I love Five Guys. But it used to be a bigger thing when I traveled. I'd always search out a Five Guys because we didn't have one here. And I used to take a picture of my self in front of the Five Guys. And I took a picture and I said something about going down. And then I didn't know how to delete the picture. And I had like 1,000 comments on my Facebook said, wait a minute, you're going down on Five Guys? I was like, how do I delete this? Yeah, horrible stuff. They do not have ferries from St. John's here in Newfoundland. There's only two ferry locations that will get you to the mainland. You either go through Port aux Basques, which is about an 11-hour drive from St. John's, and then it's a 10-hour ferry ride, or you have the option of jumping on the ferry in Argentia, which is about an hour and a half outside of St. John's, but then it's a 22-hour ferry ride. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I can get on the closer ferry, pay more money, and have like ridiculous drive through a ridiculous boat trip on a very uncomfortable ferry, or I can have the longer drive, and I enjoy driving, and get on the shorter ferry. So there you go. We do not have a classic burger in Newfoundland. We do not have a classic burger. I don't even know what it is. One of the things I do is when I travel, like if I travel for work, I'm going on one of these events, I'll actually try to look up like famous burger places and see if there's some specialty place I have to go. I remember one of my favorite places was when I traveled to BC. I had to go to a place called Velma's. So I was at the hotel. We did our conference, and then I mapped out my trip to Velma's because everybody told me that's the burger place you go to when you're in BC. So the trip was kind of complicated. I didn't, we didn't have, what is it called? We still don't have it here in Newfoundland now. We don't have Uber or any of those rideshare programs. There's just cabs. So where there was no Uber in Vancouver at the time, I had a train pass, and then in order for me to go to Velma's, I had to get on the train to like the end of the stops. Then I had to get on 2 buses, and I still had to walk to the location to go to Velma's. So I went on this crazy like 4-hour round trip to go to Velma's to eat the last night I was there. And it was great. I enjoyed the burger. It was really good. I will tell you, the place I go to, the food truck you always see me taking the pictures of at Johnny and May's, that food truck, I find their smash burgers taste very similar to the burgers at Velma's. Anyways, I did this crazy 4-hour trip my last night in Vancouver to go to Velma's. The next day, I get to the airport early because I'm not one of the guys that, when I'm traveling, I don't take any chances with the airport. I went to the airport like a couple hours early, got in there, was waiting at my terminal to go home. And I'm sitting there in the airport, and I look over at the food court next to me, this mini food court, and guess what was right in the airport? Velma's. So I absolutely did not have to take the 4-hour trip to go to Velma's. I could have just waited the next day if I had only known there was going to be a Velma's in the airport. Anyways, Velma's is great. If you're ever in BC, check out Velma's. It seems like it's kind of like a franchise type location now, but the burgers were really, really, really good. Mike, this island in the middle of nowhere, did you ever chance bump into a professor or movie star? You know what's weird? No, not, but for some reason, there's some appeal to celebrities for coming here. So one of my friends actually went and met Kiefer Sutherland earlier today. Kiefer Sutherland was announcing some kind of new whiskey line or something like that. So my friend, they were taking the first 300 people that were coming in, got to meet Kiefer Sutherland. He's a big Lost Boys fan, so he went to meet Kiefer Sutherland. Now, if I was there to go, I'm a big, I love Lost Boys, but I'm a big Young Guns fan, so I would go there and talk to him about Young Guns. I don't know how we go. Yeah, Gordon Pinson, hub guy. Gordon Pinson's from here. The other thing is, we constantly see, for some reason, Harrison Ford here in the streets. Harrison Ford comes into Newfoundland for some reason. He's always downtown Newfoundland for some reason. I don't know. Yes, Gilligan's Island. I got the joke, guys. Gilligan's Island. Professor and the movie star. So I won't keep you much longer. That was just my Monday night show. I wanted to talk about it a little bit more. It's really, really, really was from there. That's right, hub guy. It's really disappointing right now to see the state we are in with Arcade1Up. I mean, there's a lot of us. We've been very lucky. We've been able to have full availability to the cabs. Now it's being pulled back a little bit. Turns out it's not from Arcade1Up. It turns out it's from the distributor. And hopefully, if you guys want a fuller availability of cabs, reach out to Straightforward Sales, do some communication, tell them you want to buy these cabs, give them the confidence about bringing these cabs in, because that seems to be the holdup right now is Straightforward Sales. So hopefully they'll get a little less risk averse, bring some more cabs in so we can enjoy them like we used to. The other side of it, last time we did one of these Canadian shows, was we talked about the direct-to-consumer angle. And one of the cool things Arcade1Up can do, if the retailers aren't as prone to bringing them in, maybe Arcade1Up can relook at their shipping policy to Canada, look at other companies like MDSX, iArcade. They do a special $50 Canadian shipping. See if you guys can cut down your shipping a little bit. Because right now it costs like almost $200 to get a cab shipped in direct to consumer from you guys. And it just makes it a little bit unrealistic to think people are going to pay an additional $200 US to get one of your cabinets at full price. That's the same as at retail. So if you could do something about that direct to consumer special Canadian shipping, that would solve this problem too, mediate this problem, provided you can actually sell your cabs direct to consumer again. Anyways, I'm at the point, guys, that God damn it, my voice is going again. I've been going about an hour. I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank you so much for hanging with me tonight, hearing me complain, get some of this information out there. Hopefully, I've given you guys some insight, maybe some hope. We might still get the Mortal Kombat 2 Deluxe of the Deluxe cabs. That's the one I wanted. Hopefully, we will get it in the future, somewhere down the line. It's going to be way off, but maybe we'll still get it. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. It's been Chill and Chat with Michael B. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I'll see you the rest of the week. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great night.